Hi, welcome to our podcast, Perfectly Human, the podcast that helps you feel that we are all connected and whatever you are experiencing is perfectly human. I'm one of your hosts, Rekha Kent.
And I am Angie Garcia Forner.
And hi, Angie. Happy New Year. I haven't seen you properly this year yet.
Yes, not yet, but soon. It's
Not yet.
coming. It's coming up
Yeah.
soon, actually. So today we are talking about power of intentions.
Yes. So today's podcast is called Power of Intentions, where we're going to talk about the difference between New Year's resolutions and intentions and how intentions can be powerful to help you get to where you want to get to, and also talk about more about how to set these intentions. So that's what today's podcast is going to be about. Why have we chosen this topic? It's the start of the year, and I'm sure you've done this before, Angie, and many of our listeners have. But I know I have is set New Year's resolutions,
Yes.
and then get very kind of this is what I want to do, or this is what I'm going to stop doing, and then come the end of January or February, I've kind of given up. Either they're feeling too demanding, or it just feels like a bit of a struggle. So today, I guess what we want to do is help you to think about how you can work towards something you want with purpose and intention, and enable you to stop feeling like a failure when you haven't done something that you said you were going to do, and just have some fun with it, and make it stop being so heavy and serious. So moving away from if I don't achieve this, I am a failure, but more towards thinking about this is what my intention is, and this is what I want to create this year. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, we have all done. Well, to be honest, I have left resolutions a long time ago because most of all, I know myself and I know I'm not going to keep up. Like I never put a resolution for myself like I'm going to go to the gym every day because I know I'm not going to do it. So, so rather than saying it and then feeling it's a drag and then feeling like a failure for not doing it, I stopped doing it a long time ago, actually. But yes, who hasn't done it, right? Yeah, exactly. Yes. So okay. So first of all, we want to start with what is New Year resolution versus intentions. Yes, like what are resolutions versus intentions? So a lot of times, right, Rekha, we talk about them as New Year resolutions because that's exactly when it happens. You are on that 31st and you have either drank a lot and then say, I'm not going to drink again.
Yeah, I had a friend once. We were at a New Year's Eve party. This is many years ago, and she was like, "I'm going to give up smoking." And before midnight, I think she literally smoked 40 cigarettes in the space of a couple of hours. And I was just like, I was watching her, thinking, "Oh my God!" And then, lo and behold, by February, she'd started smoking again. So
Did you manage to go through the whole month, though?
She did with a lot of pain, and she in the end she just started smoking again. So it didn't
Yes.
work in that occasion. Yeah.
So that example is fantastic because I think that example is giving us a few characteristics that we can see in what are resolutions like. So the first thing is that resolutions are half-baked. And by that, we mean that they are not really specific enough. There's no concrete plan or objective, right? So when people say, I'm going to stop smoking, okay, so what does that mean, right? And in coaching, we will do that. In coaching, we will think about a goal and express it as a goal and then make a plan that actually allows you to get there. But normally resolutions come out of these kind of I should or I shouldn't or I should stop doing something. It comes out of your will and ego. Is like declaring something at a more superficial level. We haven't really kind of thought through, is this what, like, how do I want this? Where is this coming from? And how do I make it happen? So another characteristic is that they are often also unrealistic around the outcome. Yes. So like your friend saying, I want to stop smoking, this is a whole habit, right?
Yeah.
It's you really need to think about this properly. How are you going to make it happen? But for instance, if I think about another super typical example, is that typical, oh, I'm going to lose 10 kgs, right? So I'm going to lose 10 kgs this year. Or I'm going to lose 10 kgs in the next 6 months.
Oh, wow.
Because we like these resolutions often are very heavy, they're unrealistic basically. And then after the first month, when you have only lost like what, 1 or 2 kgs, which by the way should be completely normal, people are thinking about these 10 kgs in the future, in a perfect future, and it's only been 1 or 2 kgs, and they go like, oh god, this takes so long. But that's the reality, it takes long. So some of these
Well,
changing habits take long.
Well, I guess it depends, right? As you were talking, I was thinking about the smoking, and if, let's say, if I was a 20 a day smoker, and
Mm,
then I wanted to go cold turkey, that would be tough, right?
mm,
And even like say losing weight, if it depends how heavy you are. Like 10, I guess it would be relative, right? So if
yes.
you are like 200 kgs, then maybe 10 kgs might be easier, but versus if you are 80 kgs, I don't know.
I agree. There's a relativity to it, but even if you have, even if you weigh 200 kgs, realistically, right? And when you get professional help,
Right.
that you're not going to lose a lot more, maybe than of X kgs per month, right? So we tend to be unrealistic
Yeah.
about what to expect from us and how to achieve it, basically. Yes. And very often, they should also resolutions feel like a punishment very often.
Yeah.
It's like we feel deprived. It's like we feel like we are not doing something that we were doing, right? And when we speak about intentions in a second, we'll see how we are reframing this aspect.
Yeah.
But basically, at the end of the day, when the resolutions are not happening in the way that maybe we were expecting or not expecting, but expecting, it really leaves us very disappointed, basically.
Right.
Yes. um but yes, we we often want this to be like every day, like a kind of behavior every day, like I'm gonna go to the gym every day, right? And then when it doesn't happen one day, you're already feeling like a failure. You're like, oh, the point was to go to the gym every day, and now I'm not doing this, right? So we really overwhelm ourselves with substantial changes down the road, instead of sort of looking at what small changes can I do in the here and now. And therefore, resolutions are very, very difficult to keep up. Did you know, Reka, that actually to kick a bad habit out, according to research, most people think that you can change a habit in around 21 days. But actually, research says that for a habit to become automatic, a new habit to become automatic, is more like 66 days.
Wow. I didn't know actually. I thought it was like a month. That's the kind of that's the I guess that's what I've read in a lot of places. It's takes 21 days. I've heard quite a lot. I didn't realize it was 66.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we also know, I mean, and I know that both of us love James Clear and Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
And James Clear talks very clearly about this. He talks about like you are less likely to achieve your objectives if they're coming out of will.
Yeah.
There's a lot more for you to achieve and for you to change this habit,
Yeah.
like the environment and
Yeah.
also how you define it in the first place. So if we
Yeah.
look at intentions for a moment, right? So the intentions are a lot more about focusing on what do you want and why do you want it? Why am I making this decision, right?
Right.
So in the example of I want to lose weight or I want to stop smoking, for instance, if we reframed it and we asked, what do you want? What could a person be thinking, Reka? Tell me.
What do you mean in terms of
So if
the
we
why?
reframe, instead of saying I want to stop
Yeah,
smoking, how
right.
do we reframe it? Like if
So
I
it's
was
kind of
thinking,
thinking like, yeah,
what
got
and
you.
why am I making this decision?
Yeah. So it's kind of, what do I want from it? Like, why do I want to stop smoking? Right. Everyone
Yes.
knows smoking is bad, but is that why? What is so it could be the why could be, I've got high blood pressure, or it could be, I don't know, I want to start running. I want to do
Mm,
the marathon in the summer, and smoking's going to get in my way. So I guess the thing of stopping smoking could be the same for
mm.
two people, but the why behind it could be quite
Yes,
different. Is that what
exactly,
you're? Yeah.
exactly. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I could be wanting to lose weight because maybe I have diabetes and I know that losing the weight will change dramatically in my life. Or I could be wanting to lose weight because I want to feel, how I define it is I want to feel healthy. And
Right.
I want to lead a healthy life. And actually, the losing the weight will come down the line as an outcome. But I'm focusing on this is what I want. I want to feel healthy in my life. I'm not focusing on, oh, I need to lose 10 kgs.
Yeah.
That will come, let's say.
Yeah.
So intentions basically sometimes lead to specific goals, but sometimes they also lead to changing or shifting our behavior and attitude. So if I decide from the beginning I want to be a healthy person, that will trickle down into more things
Yeah.
other than just going to the gym. That will also trickle
Actually,
down in
yeah. When you're
how do I
saying
eat.
that,
Yes.
sorry, I interrupted you, but when you were saying that, so you could go to the gym every day, but then eat pizza afterwards or burgers. You see what I mean? So actually, as you're saying that, I want to be a healthy person, then actually it's not just about the exercise, but also about the other habits in your life as well.
Yes. And
Yeah.
one of my housemates in the past used to do exactly that. And he was
Oh, did
always
you?
like, it was always like he was always complaining about his weight, and then he will go to the gym almost every day. But every night he will have almost every night he'll have pizza. So it's a bit like, okay. But anyway, so intentions, they feel lighter, they feel more heartfelt. There's a readiness and a willingness from you to do this. Yes. And that's also because they are aligned with your identity and with the
Yeah.
who you are and who you want to be, right? And this alignment gathers your energy and helps you move forward. Basically,
Okay.
it allows you to focus on yourself, and is you're also bringing your values and what matters to you, right? So all in all, the intentions are putting a lot less pressure on ourselves. They are more forgiving, and it's
Hmm.
not a situation of, wow, it's success or fail dynamic that comes with the resolution that, oh, I didn't go to the gym today, I am already a failure, let me just give it up completely, so if I'm thinking I want to be healthy, okay, maybe today I didn't make it to the gym, but maybe today I had a very healthy meal, and I should feel proud about that. It's about honoring the effort and the process, not just the outcome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
like that.
then,
It sounds a bit more nicer, kinder to ourselves, I think.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and we need to be kinder to ourselves, by the way.
I think
That
so.
we need definitely.
I mean, one of the
So
things,
yes.
I mean, a couple of years ago, I know my husband and I had this conversation around, you know, how much time we spend together. And as you were talking, I was just trying to kind of put it into context. So, for example, and tell me if this is aligned to what you're saying, like a resolution would be, me and my husband are going to have a date night every week, right? And if he's working late one night, I'm going to get annoyed with him, or if we miss a few, we're just going to get
Yeah.
irritated, then
Yes.
it's going to end up having an adverse effect, right?
Yes.
um Whereas if I wanted to set an intention around my marriage, it could be more around, I want to feel more connected and I
Yes.
want to build more trust, right?
Mm,
So, and then we can think about ways to do that, I
yes.
guess. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, and I love that you're giving that example, because it's again a very good example. And when you know the why you're doing something, different ways to implement these come up. You know,
Yeah,
it
true.
doesn't have to be always just a dinner with your husband every week. You know, you
Yeah,
could also have a very nice chat with your husband this week and make you feel completely connected, you know.
yeah,
um,
yeah,
and that will make you feel more fulfilled
yeah,
than if you're thinking, oh, we didn't have a date night this week.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Actually, and another one actually that I did a couple of years ago was being wanting to be more intentional about my kids. So wanting to be more present with them, because what I was noticing is that I wasn't fully present when I was with them. I was thinking about something or doing work or
Mm,
sending emails.
work.
And
Yes.
so what that led to was, just some rules around,
Mm,
if they come to talk to me, I either put away what I'm doing or I will tell them to come back in about a few minutes, So just having those actually has really helped.
yes.
And it's really
Yes.
helped me be more present with them.
Yes.
So
Yes,
yeah,
I like those all those examples, and I think that basically all those examples are also telling us intention is a lot more rooted in the present and moving forward from here, as opposed to feeling that something will only be perfect in the future. You know what I mean?
right.
um
Okay. Yeah.
yes, and it starts with awareness and mindfulness.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of people also may say at the beginning of the year, and actually in coaching, a lot of people for a long time will tell me, Angie, I want to change jobs. And if you reframe it, if your intention is, but then when we ask as a coach, what do you want, right? Because it's not about changing jobs sometimes, right? It's about like, and then people can come up with, well, I don't feel that currently I can bring my whole self to work, or I don't feel seen or heard, or, and then actually there are other things going on. So you like, sometimes intention would be more like, I want a new career opportunity that allows me to bring myself to work. um,
Right.
but that can have many openings. That can mean that maybe your boss changes and you get a new boss and you feel like you
Oh,
can
true.
be
Yeah.
yourself at work.
Yeah.
Or it means that you are in still in your company, but somebody sees you and they ask you to go to another department. It could be very different
Yeah.
things that will make you, so any of those changes would make you feel more fulfilled at work, without maybe you even having to change companies, etc. Okay,
So it's
so
just the why behind it, basically, isn't
yes,
it?
is the what do you want, basically, is
Yeah.
the what and the why you want this.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay,
I mean, and
so
if you sorry, go on.
no, I was going to say, no, you finish.
No, I was going to say, well, because there's been a lot of literature and a lot of writing around intention. And I guess what
Mhm.
I'm hearing so far is the difference between, the resolution seem like it's a demand, I should do, I have to, whereas intention is the desire for wanting something different in your life,
Yes.
and the why you want that something different. And I remember, I think one of the books that this reminds me of is this. I don't know if any of the listeners have read it. It's called The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. I think it was written in like 2006 or something. And one of the things that she talks about is that, a lot of us think about our future, right?
Mm.
We think about it. It's just the way, I guess, we're wired. And, to simply put it, what she says is that the way we think about our future is what we end up creating. And so
Mm.
that is basically the power of intention. So what she says is that intention means deliberately thinking about what you want in the future now. And so this could relate to like different things such as relationships, career, money, and many different areas that are important in your life. And Gary Zukov talks about it as well in The Seat of the Soul, where he talks about, we create our reality with our intentions.
Mm.
So having clear intentions can then help us make better
Yeah.
decisions, discern what we do and don't want. So going back to what you were saying about I want to be healthy, right? That can help us make a decision like, oh, do I really want to go and eat that cake or whatever, versus do I want to just kind of be healthy today and do that.
Yes.
So I think it's yeah, I
Yes.
think that's important.
What I'm hearing about what you're saying is that what you focus on grows, because
Yeah.
either consciously or even unconsciously, because our subconscious operating system is always working, so it's always pulling you towards this focus that you have, basically. And actually, like, it's been already at least 2 years that I stopped even setting goals or resolutions for myself, and I call it either intentions or focus, even like my focus 2023, for instance. So yes, what you focus on grows, and you create your own reality, basically. So you need to focus attention on your intentions, basically.
It's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? So should we talk a bit about like how do we set intentions? Because I think that's really
Yes.
important.
So there's something
Yeah,
that you said there that I'm going to take to sort of talk about the step one. So step one is
yeah,
really identify what areas of your life you want to focus on. Okay. So I don't know if our listeners have done an exercise that is called the Wheel of Life. This is very practical to actually realize that there are different areas of your life, or that you have different roles in your life. You can do it however you want, by areas or roles. So if you do by roles, it's like your role as a mother, your role, if you are a mother, of course, your role as a professional, your role as a daughter, it could be different roles. Or
yeah,
if you want to do by areas, it could be your career, it could be like your children, your family, your finances, it could be your spirituality as well, by the way, your personal growth. So it can be like many different type of things. But basically, the step one is really identify what areas you want to focus on this year, let's say, because we
yeah,
are doing
yeah.
2023. Yes.
And I think, going back to what Stephen Covey talks about in terms of the five, when he's his book, The Five Choices, I think one of the rule of thumb was like, don't identify more than around six areas,
Mm,
because I think
mm,
then it just becomes too much.
mm,
So I would kind of encourage, identify like, five or six key areas in your life. And then so once you've identified them in step one, step two, creating an intention around each of those areas. So, it could be, for example, at work, my intention this year is to be confident, is to be focused, is to be courageous. And, being as a mother, it could be being loving and present with my children.
mm.
So it's kind of identifying those areas, and then what are your intentions around each of those areas.
Yes, yes. So, and then from there, basically, your step three would be what actions and commitments are you going to take to make this happen? Which is a little bit like the question, what steps do I need to take? Yes.
Yeah,
What's next, basically, right?
yeah, yeah,
Some of this may transfer into goals, okay? Or you may have rules, like the rule that you were explaining about your children, for instance. I also made a rule for myself a long time ago when I actually, in my role as mother or my children area, I decided the same. I decided I want to be present. So for me, my rule meant that when the weekend comes, I spend time with this child that wants to engage with me, like
yeah,
I don't give myself the excuse, yes, maybe, of course I'm tired. I used to be in a high demanding job, but I also realized at the end of the day, this kid wants to spend time with me now. So I need to balance both. I need to balance both was kind of my rule. And I also realized that actually spending time with my child and doing things like going outside, being in nature, was also helping me get away and recover from work anyway. So
yeah,
there's no dichotomy, there's no contradiction sometimes. Once you have the intention and you have put either a goal, everything starts to come together, basically. Yes.
yeah. And so I guess with step 3, then it's around, what are some of the goals or some of the rules that you want to commit to? So, what steps do you need to take and what resources do you have that are available to help you do that? And then I guess the last thing I would really encourage listeners to do is to think about, how do you review these? How do you know if you're working towards them? So what would be the review? And this could be a daily thing, like, have I been present today? One of my intentions is to meditate more. So I actually review that on a weekly basis. So thinking about what's going to work for you, is it going to be reviewing it daily? Is it weekly or monthly? So it's really asking yourself the question, how am I doing? And how do you feel about it?
Yes, and I think, again, like, I think what is interesting about what we're saying here in the review is that it can depend on many things, right? It can depend on, if you are really, really focusing on changing something, you could do it daily. If you don't want to be extremely prescriptive about it, you could do it more like monthly. You can choose, basically. There's no pressure here, right? Because we don't want to go back to the pressure of resolution. So it's up to you. You decide what makes you more comfortable, but it has to work for you. Okay, so in summary, shall we summarize the whole thing, Reka? Yes? Yeah? So in summary, today we talked about the power of intention. So we talked about resolutions and intentions and how they are different. We talked about how intentions can be a lot more powerful. And then we talked about, we gave you a couple of tips on how to set intentions. So from here, and it feels about right as well this year. I feel now more ready to do these intentions. I don't know about you, Reka.
Yeah, I kind of set, actually, it's interesting because I usually set my intentions around the second, third week of January, because then I feel a bit more ready to do it.
Yes.
And yeah, it gives me some time to ease myself into the year and then get some clarity around what I want out of this year.
Yes.
So
I feel the same. I feel that sometimes, right after holiday, you need a little bit recovery time from all those highs of the festive season, etc. And now kind of recenter yourself and balance, and then declare these intentions. And we want them to be meaningful and intentional. So yes, it's a good timing to do it now. All right. So remember, you've got the power, like
that reminds me of that song. I'm showing my age now, right? I got the power.
No. It's because it's nothing to do with age. It's because
okay,
the
fine.
song
This is a
is
great
so
song.
popular.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure my teenager will not know what that song is. So
No,
never
exactly.
mind.
Yes,
Okay.
that's well. Although they know a lot more songs than you think. But anyway, that's a different story. The next episode, we will be focusing on understanding your unique brilliance. So yes, we hope that you found this episode useful. Know, as usual, that you are perfectly human, like all of us. And we look forward to seeing you next. And as usual, if you enjoyed this, share it, please.
And subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe always.
Yeah, so
Okay.
subscribe and share, and see you next time.
See you. Bye.